one.
All right, y'all, it's Malak Shalomo, coming to you from Premium Tier Futures Discord. And we're going to do a breakdown of some top down analysis on the ES futures, maybe some other markets as well. And let's see, Jeremy, you introduce yourself as well.
What's up, guys? Jeremy Clark here. Um, yeah, as mentioned, we're just going to do maybe some trade recaps, then discuss what the week looks like for ES and anything else that comes to mind. So thanks for joining us. And we got Eli in
And
the room as well.
I'm Eli, I'm a moderator, Premium Tier Futures, and I'm just gonna share a clip of the Dom jigsaw of a nice reversal signal here. So we'll get into that later. Just talk markets. That's what we do in the Discord. Uh, yeah, have a good time.
Awesome.
All right. So I guess I'll start off here with the daily chart. Just kind of just run through a little top-down analysis really quickly. So I should have had this out before the Epic Pen. Let me take this out.
I'm trying to get mine to fire up too.
All right. So we had how much days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days basically of selling, if I'm not mistaken. And we came down here to this silver top monthly zone for support, which is basically, let me see here, which is basically the bottom central for the monthly, bottom central pivot, and the Camarilla S3 monthly pivot. So we came down here and we got a little bounce, and now price is looking like it's gonna probably create like a secondary stop and come back down to these levels. So let me just go down to the 1 hour chart where I have some weekly levels.
So just to kind of summarize what you just said, it sounds like you're looking for. Um, I think you said that maybe that was the preliminary stop, and then you're looking for the would it be the secondary stop or the start of a new kind of horizontal consolidation?
So what I was looking at here is like a selling climax of
Okay, gotcha.
around monthly Camarilla S3 and bottom central pivot for the month. And
Gotcha.
then this would be coming back up here to the POC for the month. This would be the automatic rally. And now we're creating, well, maybe if we come back down here, the secondary stop. But it's a little clearer on the 1 hour chart.
Okay.
So let me just drop down here real quick.
So basically, you're thinking this is bottomed, and maybe we're going to start an accumulation.
Probably, yeah. So I think the selling climax was here on Thursday last week at 10 o'clock. So we had this spike down here, then we
I
had this
see it
push
that
back up,
that wick on that
double bottom.
blue candle. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So after we had this push back up here, which is we created a top here this morning. Let's see, what time is this? 8 o'clock. And now the next spot I'm thinking is gonna come back down here to this monthly Camarilla S3 and bottom central level
And what
to
is that
create
about?
that secondary stop.
Is that about 54.40, 54.50, something like that?
It's about 54, 45, 50, or
Okay.
54.50 in between that area right there. Let me just open that up. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And that's basically what I'm looking at for tomorrow is like continuation of the downtrend.
Okay.
So
So
are you expecting that to be like a retest?
yeah, yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
One of the things I want to point out, just to jump in real quick here, when I look for the start of one of these horizontal ranges, um, I look for that W shape, which we're getting right here. We've got the selling climax, this kind of rally up, and then, you know, what you refer to as a double bottom, but it creates kind of this W shape, and that's just really common at the start of one of these horizontal um, accumulations or distribution patterns. And then today was a bit choppy. So, would you say we were kind of in phase B of the consolidation?
Yeah, I think it's phase B, but it could also be still phase A,
Hmm.
depending on. I mean, if we come back down and we test on the bottom, it could be phase A, the first real secondary stop, or it could be most likely phase B, like you were saying, where it's just like erratic,
Hmm.
volatile kind of price action. We could get a spring, maybe not, you know.
Well, I'll tell you why I asked that is because looking at this sort of sideways price action that's dripping off, you can see the green arrow that's pointing to the Bowling Green on the daily, and that little
Yeah,
sideways, it's very choppy. It'd probably be very hard to play that because it's back and forth, back and forth. And I was noticing the same thing during today's session was, we got that really long drop off, but it kept
yeah.
bouncing up and
This
then it
one,
dropped off, then it bounced off. Yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
I was so happy I wasn't really trading it. I was just watching it. And to me, that particular type of a consolidation is indicative of a retracement.
Okay.
It's not a motive move. It's very kind of sloppy and choppy and up and down and hard to, kind of hard to predict where it's going to end up.
You see, after we bottom out here, I took this was the Black Sun strategy for me when it came back up, and I took that short there right in this candle. Short right there and stopped
Um,
out there.
let's see. Can you bring your mouse over a little bit and show us? Because I'm not quite seeing it. There we go. Okay, yeah.
Long. So this is the 1 hour chart, so maybe I could show you better on the 5 minute. But right here as we bottomed out, this is around like what time is this here? So that's 11 o'clock, right? So we bottom out at 11 o'clock at weekly POC, which is at 54.8375. And then we push back up, right?
Yeah.
Now, let me just throw on these VWAP bands. Right, so we pushed above this plus V1 and just almost got to plus V2. And that's basically the Black Sun strategy for me. Like if it's in a range or in like where in a downtrend and it's like a pop, right?
Hmm.
So we get this push down, we get the pop up to these resistance levels on the VWAP and take the short from there.
I
Nice.
see.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what would your target be? Like I'm guessing you're going off of the loss of the VWAP deviation.
Yeah. So let me go down to the 5 minute. I think you could see it much better. Because I'm going off of those are anchored VWAPs that I'm showing you on the 1 hour chart, but this is daily VWAPs, you know.
Okay.
They reset on the Euro session like 1 a.m. in the morning. So it does one reset for the day. So this is let's see, I could probably make this a little smaller. Right. So when we bottomed out here around 11:30, we came back up. This is the first indication of the Black Sun strategy where this red line right here is also coupled with the POC, which is Camarilla R3 at 55.2180, right? So around 55.22, that's where the Camarilla R3 is, and also plus V1 on the VWAP That's right there, right? So you
Okay.
can see that line going across there. So I'm looking for like a correlation between like a pivot and a VWAP,
I
and
see.
I'm getting that right here, right, as resistance. And
Yeah,
then
that's sort
let's
of
see,
that DPZ or MPZ multiple pivot zone.
right. And then I took the short here at 55.17.25 and took it down to the RTH VWAP. So the RTH session like anchored from there from 9:30. I just took it down to that VWAP. It's a yellow line inside here right there.
Very cool. And how many contracts
So
did you swing on that?
10.
Big baller.
Dang,
Yeah, I did 10 on that one.
Beast mode.
that's awesome.
Yeah, man, because I was kind of sure it's like a A plus setup plus it's double topping right here, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely, even if I held, I could have got down to -1 VWAP, right? Because we got down all the way down here.
Amazing trade. Really
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to bring up something. I was watching your mentorship with the Bookmap Trader
Hmm.
Academy, and it was something that one of the instructors said that really resonated with me. Um, he was going over your pivots and the VWAP and stuff, and he pointed out, on the chart that there was also a large liquidity block to
Yeah.
target at your take profit target.
Yeah.
And I felt like he and the other instructor were kind of pointing out that, like, you kind of need that in tandem with all of these other things like VWAP and pivots and stuff. The VWAP and pivots, they don't work by themselves. They only work if there's liquidity there to support the idea or to resist the idea, so to speak, to push price in a certain direction.
Right.
And yeah, is this a shot from earlier?
Oh, so this is going over to Bookmap in case we want to look at anything over here on Bookmap.
Yeah, and I just see like that big block of liquidity near looks like 54.82.
Yeah, that's where it starts at yesterday's low at around 54.81 right there.
Okay. So is this a look at the double top, or is this a look at the end of day?
No, this is just current price right now.
Gotcha.
This is just, yeah, this is just, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So passing it over to you guys now, Jeremy. Let me see some stuff from you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I'm gonna circle back to what we're talking about here with the book map heat map. Um, Eli has some screenshots that we wanted to go over as well, so I'm gonna have him jump in, take a look
All
at
right.
that.
Yeah, I'll take over. It's another little clip, a couple minutes, like 2 minutes.
Cool. Let's
All
see.
right, I'll start this up. So this was on Monday, I think it was. Uh, yeah, the 22nd. So, and this was okay. This was a reversal signal on the DOM. So it was this really clear signal. It actually didn't work out, but I thought it was a great signal. And like we all know, you can do everything right, and still doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Can you guys see my screen?
I can see it. Hang on one second. I'm just trying to get
Yeah, I
it
could see
to
a shock.
I'm just trying to get it to pop out here. Here we go. There it is.
Okay, yeah, I could see it.
Okay, I've got you.
All right. So we had this huge drop. We popped at the open, and then it immediately sold off all the way to new lows.
I remember
Uh,
that. I remember watching that this morning, and I was thinking there was a short signal last night. I posted the setups, and it
this
was
was
kind
this
of
was actually this was last Monday
oh,
actually,
last Monday. Okay, gotcha.
but yeah, similar thing. And so as we hit new lows, we start to see all these orders come in, and
So I'm looking over
you can
here
see there.
at the red column of your price ladder here, and I'm seeing
Uh,
just like a ton of liquidity stacked up in that black sort of histogram that's inside the
Okay,
red
now I
column.
see it.
Is that what you're referring to?
yeah, I was actually well. There's that there too. I was referring to on the blue side though. We got these.
Okay.
There's
Also
stacks
at the
every 50 cents.
to the
It's about
bottom.
120 or so.
I see what you're saying. There's 100 lots.
Yeah.
So right here at 55.8250, there's 114. Then 55.82, there's 122. There are some in between, but it's like you said, every 50 cents there's 100 lot stacked.
And so on the Vista as well, you can see that they were supporting it there.
I
Uh,
see it. So you got this kind of white shaded liquidity. Looks like the bottom is like right around 55.80, which was a key level.
so I didn't take this trade, but I've seen many times that when you get a huge drop like this, the short-term bulls will try to squeeze it. They'll try to catch all the really late shorts and pop it for a few points. And so
So
that's
they're,
kind of what I was watching for here.
I see. So they're going after um, the trapped traders that are getting in late.
So you can
'Cause
see it kind of goes back and forth a bit,
yeah.
but more
So
bulls are hitting in there. You can see the larger orders, 66.98.
that's on the ask.
Yeah.
So this for this to work, it has to have like stacked up on the bid, coming up on the bid like that over there on the blue.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah. So you'll
right,
see what, okay, right
like
there.
how it's
Right
pushing
there.
up right now. It's pushing up right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see it.
So price kind of,
1081.
yeah,
Yeah.
price kind of popped up a bit, and then you just get
Uh-huh.
this huge order right below the market.
So on Bookmap, it looks like for me, it just looks like somebody supporting price right underneath, just on the bid, and that's bullish,
Yeah.
because it's like a heavy price on the bid that they just can't sell through.
Yeah. And so another thing, a lot of times you'll see these pop up and it'll be a fake order. And so price will come up a few ticks, and then when it gets about 2 to 3 ticks away, the order will pull. But in this
Okay,
case, price is coming down to it and it's staying there. Generally, price
right,
won't get within a tick and have the order stay there unless it's a real order.
right.
So you can still see there's still a ton of sellers sitting in here, but that order's holding. And so
So
this could be a nice reversal signal here. They're trying to squeeze it anyways. And now it's absorbing and incrementing.
I can see this big block of white liquidity here. That would be that plus 1,000 lot order that's supporting. And I think it's really interesting that there's not much up above. If you look at the heat map, there's just kind of regular amounts of, what I call retail liquidity, and then we just broke through.
Yeah, so broke through with a
That
huge order. You can see this. It was a single order over 2,200 shares or
was
22.
contracts.
that gap. Was that gap that just created right there on the big drop down over on the left?
What'd you say?
What's the gap that just kind of came into play right there? Like when we had that big drop down, you see that gap over there with the gray liquidity.
Are you talking about like the little space of
Yeah, right
black,
there, right there.
like the dark
Uh-huh.
that has no shading to it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's an area that price moves through so quickly. Um,
Oh, it's a sweep.
it's a
Okay.
sweep. Yeah, so there's no liquidity. It's a liquidity void.
Oh,
It just all those orders got eaten up.
got you. Got you.
Yeah, so this is quite a fake out.
So you can see more
Right.
orders coming in. They're kind of still trying to hold those lows, but this eventually, yeah, it's breaking through.
Right.
So that was mostly it, really, from what I wanted to show it. That 1,000 lot order popping in was really cool.
Yeah, that was a beautiful spot. Really interesting to see that 1,000 lot order came in and pushed price up, but really, let's assume it was the same trader. They were going to dump it. They just wanted to dump it from a higher price and get people on board, trap traders, to dump onto. So that was really kind of, um, I think Grady calls that a head fake, where they push the price up, but really they're about to slam it down.
Could
Or,
be, could
or
be.
it could be
Those orders did fill though.
the 1,000 lot.
Yeah,
It didn't
yeah,
pull.
2,000.
Interesting. So we could have had two opposing traders that were, duking it out there.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like to me, but I don't know. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, you never really know.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, that's what I got. So
Oh,
I'll
that's great.
pass it over to you.
Yeah, well, before you do that, this segues really good into what I wanted to touch on. Um, if you're looking over here at the heat map on the auction vista, and right next to price, you've got one, two, three, four empty, what I call liquidity voids. And you know, the idea is that we're talking about targeting these big white blocks of liquidity, but what really happens if you want to move price is you have to create a vacuum in front of where you want to go. So you
Mhm.
need price has to be able to fill a void to kind of get where it's going. If you want to create liquidity, you want to create the ability for price to move, you kind of have to open the gates, so to speak, to get to the next station. And it's something that Davies talks about a lot, this idea that like price doesn't just move from like order block to order block, but it actually moves kind of like the way water fills in a gap, right? If you pour out a glass of water, it'll kind of move into the cracks in the pavement. And that's
Sure.
exactly what happens with price action. So, just to give you an example, if I was short here at 55.8150 and I saw that block of liquidity, maybe some polling, or I saw price shooting through, I would I would target these empty little voids, and I'd only target 3 or 4 ticks because I know it's going to go to at least those to fill those. I don't know if we're going to get continuation past that, but that would be a good option for me to throw 10 contracts at it and just take three
So,
ticks for one of those
uh,
those fills. Yeah, that's really great, man. I'm so glad you shared this. It's really got my mind running. Who was the 1,000 lot and who was the 2,000 lot um, seller. There's a chance, that was the same person, the same trader, um, or it could be conflicting interests. But either way, it's definitely a tradable event, something to watch for. And since I'm mentioning that too, just kind of mention that this was a fake out to the top of that horizontal channel that was right around 55.86. It had already broken down, and it had sort of signaled that it was going to go bullish, and it went right to the top of that horizontal consolidation and played around a little bit, and then broke down again and went through it. Um, and then you can see it went sideways again, and then it broke down. So that was, pretty tricky. If you're looking for a breakout or a breakdown, it actually went the opposite way first, right?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
see that all the time, almost to the point where I like look for it. You might call that a bull trap on this one.
Totally.
Yeah, good stuff. Cool. Let's see. I think I have some photos here, kind of along with same theme.
I want to show like an instance of like two strategies because it's like opposite strategies where I use the black sun and the bowling green. So I want to kind of show an instance of the two of them happening today at the same time. Well, just opposite of each other.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Let's see. Share my screen, and it's this one. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I got you.
You can see my mouse moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was seeing here. This was like at 11:25, right after we opened, and even at the beginning of the RTH open here. But sometimes these things happen so quickly. But you could actually take these strategies like on a scalping level, right? Let's see here. Right, so you can see here what time is this? 9:30, right? This is the 9:30 candle. So we came in selling, open, we sold off. We had this bounce here at minus V2, had the pop back up and the break above minus V1. And then price it came back and retested minus V1 and we went up here to, if you had held this, like let's say you took the breakouts here of minus V1 and put your stop somewhere around here, you would definitely get to plus V1, right? So that's just like a bowling green strategy,
Yeah, you're playing the range.
And yeah, and it's like a quick version, It's just at the open, things are volatile, but if you have the nerve to do it, you can still do it. Like even here, and I just mark these out on the chart. I don't take all of them, but I mark them out,
Yeah.
And let's see, right here you have the accumulation between minus V2 and minus V1. Came down here, tested, take the buy right there, stop loss somewhere around here, and you get all the way back up to plus V1.
Yeah.
And that's
So
when,
so just to kind of like summarize, you've got prices kind of descending in this VWAP channel here. You get this sort of double bottom, and then it breaks the VWAP deviation. And in a good reversal, not only does it go back up to VWAP, but it goes back up to the +1 deviation. So you
yeah.
actually get a full two deviations of range on that trade. That's something I kind of aim for as well.
And this is something I think I found because, like with the Wyckoff theory, I always wanted to find some way to find these selling climaxes where we could take the automatic rally, right?
Hmm.
And all of these are just like the VWAP is just tailor fitted to find these selling climaxes that give you the automatic rally. And
Yeah,
it gives you the destination for the automatic rally. And then you get the counteraction strategy where I look for the selling, look for the sideways, don't jump in too quickly, just look for the sideways movement, look for the sellers, take the sell, and that's coming all the way back down to VWAP and to -2, -1, sorry.
So for someone who doesn't know much about Wyckoff theory, what is an automatic rally?
So automatic rally is like this, right? When excuse me, when all the selling is being absorbed, it takes a lot of buying volume here at this point, right, to absorb the rest of the selling.
Okay.
So when that high volume goes into the trade, like buying here and buying here, because this is the last of the selling right here, right, on this big candle.
Yeah.
And when they place their buy orders to absorb that, it just keeps on going because it's like so much volume to absorb the rest of these sellers that you get stops. What do they call it? Like short covering,
Yeah.
right? You get short covering, you get buyers jumping on, and you get the initial big buyer that stepped in to absorb. So all of that is going into the automatic rally, and this exhausts itself after a certain time because remember, this is not a breakout trade. This is not seeking higher value. This is just a reaction of the absorption of sellers.
Sure.
So
Okay.
it stops at a certain point, and that's what they call the automatic rally when it tops out. And then the sellers, because the initial player here or the person in charge is the seller, right? He got absorbed. He could step back in around this area here to at kind of like the halfway or just coming back to break even where he started selling
Yeah.
and apply more pressure. So they would have to absorb again. This is why I think, let me just go over here for a second. Let's just go back to the 1 hour chart. This is why I think on the 1 hour chart, this is what we're seeing. It's like a selling climax, right? Let me use the arrows. So we have the sellers, we're getting them, they're getting absorbed. We have in the automatic rally. And you see the weakness here. There's no real buyers following through, right? Look at the buyers, right? Compared to the sellers. It's
Yeah.
real selling happening, you know. So what's going to happen is it's going to come back down to to create the secondary stop at this level again. And then we could move into phase B where we could just get that back and forth in the range.
Okay. Sure. So we'll see if they try to absorb the sellers again, or if they're gonna break through.
Well, the whole operation in a accumulation phase like this, like after sellers, they decide that, okay, this is where they want to buy, right? They're going to keep on absorbing. That's their campaign right there around these levels. They might even do some shakeouts even way below. That's how they get the shakeout before they break out to the upside.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm yeah, I'm gonna jump in here. So, you see this big these three big yellow candles that sell off into this sort of green shaded area at the bottom. And so if you use that first candle as kind of the top and the last yellow candle at the bottom as, the bottom, then if you were to play the automatic rally is going to go right back up to those levels. So it gives
Right,
you, a high probability target and a reason for
right,
holding, you know.
exactly.
Now, once that happens, then you go sideways choppy. That's typical of phase B, and that might be what's starting here. And that will also go from the high back to the low. And as Nigel said, it might even break the low, but it's going to be a choppy way of getting there. So you don't always want to trade after the automatic rally. You don't necessarily want to get back in short and try to hit the green shaded area again with shorts because it's going to be up and down and it's going to stop you out. And it might even test the high, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, actually, that's what I'm trying to do here with this Black Sun strategy is where I'm trying to catch that automatic rally top. Because once we secure a good stop loss, the rest is just noise. It's gonna move back and forth. But
Hmm.
all right, let me open this a little more. right? So once we get a good stop, like let's say this is a short position here,
Kind of
right?
looks like that candle with the big wick right there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And let's say we're trying to get back down here. All we need is for our stop loss to not be in jeopardy, and we're good to go. We're gonna get the sail right or the cascade right down to this level. It's gonna move back and forth, but it's like on an intraday basis. I know what you're saying. Like it depends on the time frame,
Hmm.
or what like with these apex thresholds and stuff like that. This is something of a concern.
And that's why I say that is because, if I have a trailing drawdown that I'm watching out for, um, I'd rather get in on the automatic rally than the chop and get stopped out.
Right.
But if you're just intraday swinging and your account's in the clear, then yeah, place your short, place your stop, and then let it play out. And that's a totally valid target.
So you see, for instance, that's basically what I was playing today, right? This is the 5 minute chart, and because of how volatile the market is right now, like we're getting these big, huge swings and stuff like that. This is how I took the trade this time. I just took the breakdown here, right? And I put my stop, I think it was 23. Hold on. So right there was my stop. And I just tried to get back to anchored VWAP, right? A little 10-point move. And that was it, just playing it safe because look at how far it bounced up. It bounced. I mean, we're trading within market structure still, we're
Hmm.
breaking down and we're coming and retest these levels, right? You see where the wick is.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of how much do you want to risk on getting the perfect trade to come down to these levels, or do you want to just take what you get at this point in time? And right now, with the market volatility, I just think it's better to take what you get at this point in time.
Yeah. Get in and get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I agree.
well, somebody was saying that it's level to level, level
Yeah.
to level.
That's a Mancini thing.
Right, right.
Yeah. He's all about that.
Yeah. Shout out to Sue. Yeah,
Hey, Sue.
man.
Yeah, Sue, if you're watching this later, just know I'm gonna keep giving you crap till you come to one of these. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, man. He's saying he's shy, man, and you gotta come true, bro. You got all this insight. You gotta teach us something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal trader. He'll be in here soon enough.
Yeah, he's a great trader, bro. He's a great trader.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of us have been under a little pressure with the volatility. And this guy, Fat Cat Trading on YouTube, he was talking about it, and he was talking about like the adjustments you have to make between like a 12 VIX and a 16 VIX,
Hmm.
and it's how much it would pull back on you. So this is something I'm gonna start to really incorporate. Is like because you can see here on my chart, right? Um, this is ATR for the 5 minute, right? And it gives me the number right there. So right now, this is 3.37 points for the ATR, right? So what I'm going to do is within my stop, I'm going to probably just do like a ATR and a half or maybe double ATR depending on what kind of ATR we're looking at.
Yeah.
Just to it kind of it kind of bulletproofs your trading where you know what to expect ATR wise and volatility wise, so you know how to place your stops. And if you do place your stop at a like say two ATR, then you know definitely you're wrong. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
So what kind of strategies or what do you all see for tomorrow? If you all want, I can kind of break down some of the stuff I might be looking at tomorrow.
Um, I haven't even looked at the chart. Before we go there, I have a couple screenshots I want to just show you guys. if that's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Let's see here. So here we go. Let me make sure that you guys can see this.
I could see bookmap.
You can see bookmap?
Yeah, but it's really small. It's a screenshot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, it's getting bigger. Okay, cool. All
Okay.
right.
Eli, can you see that?
Yeah, yeah, I can see it. Maybe zoom out just one. I think it cut off the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
How's that?
yeah,
perfect.
that's good.
Better?
Yeah,
Um,
Yep.
so just to kind of add to what we were talking about earlier with in terms of liquidity, I took a bunch of screenshots of what I was seeing, and I was talking about this in our last video, but this idea of, these, see if I can get my Epic Pen to work. It's not quite coming out, so all right.
Yeah, that Epic Pen could be tricky, man.
Yeah, I think it has too
It's glitchy.
yeah, it glitches a bit. It's too labor intensive. But I'll just show you with my
Yeah.
mouse, I was talking about yesterday when I see these, you know, these synced orders, these block orders. Um, you got resistance up top and support down under, and these block trades or these block liquidity orders move in sync with price. And if whoever's controlling the market wants to move the market up, they just move the orders up, and there's not a lot of liquidity in between. So then it creates those voids. And so when I see
Vacuum.
this, a vacuum, yeah, and I don't see a lot of liquidity. I have the setting turned way up here, so there is some liquidity in here, these kind of gray shaded areas, maybe where liquidity was, but essentially price is being controlled in this zone. And then something else happened. And let me know if you guys can still see this. Do you see this new one with the orange circle?
Yeah.
Okay, so all of a sudden, we've got all this liquidity up top at 54.99, this big block
Okay.
of white liquidity. So in addition to these synced orders, which are these two white lines that are, prices kind of being herded in between, all of a sudden we're getting this liquidity up top. And that kind of became like a magnet today. Price started trying to go up and trying to get to it. And so I was just tracking this. I'm switching to another photo now. Just let me know if you can see this. Is that coming through?
Oh, this is good stuff, bro.
Thank you. Okay, so can you see this one now where there's this shaded liquidity right near 54.96?
yeah,
Yeah.
So notice how that changed. So we have these block orders, you know, that are controlling price, but all of a sudden there's a target up here at 54.96 and there's another target at 54.99. So we're starting to get sell side liquidity that's in addition to whoever is controlling price right here. And if we only had these two white lines, 54.93 to 54.87, price can bounce around in there at will. And they can move price up and they can move price down. And I've been watching the price ladder and it responds to those orders moving, not the other way around. So you don't really have time to say, oh, there's a buildup on the bid, they're going to move price up. No, they move price up and the bid responds. It's like the high frequency traders, the algorithms are responding to these large orders. So,
Right.
I feel like this is a kill box until we start to see this other liquidity up here at 54.96 is now suddenly there's a target and there's, some direction to it, whether it bounces off it or it goes up to it. So I'm going to show you another photo here. And look what happened. Price went all the way up to 54.97, almost all the way to 54.99. So it took out that gray shaded liquidity, which was not as heavy,
Right.
admittedly, as 54.99. Like 54.99
Mhm.
is a wall. It's not going through there, but they wanted that second bit of liquidity and they came and took it. And once they took it, price dumped, right?
Right.
So I'm going to move on to another photo here. This might actually be the same. Yeah, I think that's the same photo. So moving on to this one. So, if I was to flip my bias short, um, oh, I see. So I had just marked these earlier during the session. You've got this block of liquidity up here at 5,500, and you can see the price did squeeze up to it and almost take it out. So it was taking out, um, there were orders at, just below that. I think 54.9650 was a key level. Then we also have this gray shaded area of liquidity just above 54.92, and that also got targeted later in the session on a squeeze. And if we
Okay.
moving to the left, and this is something that I saw on
What time
your,
was this?
um, it was getting towards the end. I'm going to say this is around maybe 1 o'clock, 1:30 Eastern time.
I'm gonna check over here on.
Yeah. But I just want to show you,
Go
so
ahead.
from this big buy volume that happened here, this absorption, price dipped down to, what was the VWAP? This is actually a VWAP deviation, most likely. You see it even gap down. There was a lot of sellers, and then it came up to get this gray shaded liquidity right in here. Um, Same thing. It did it again, came down, and then look, there's this extra liquidity right here, just waiting to get got. So each time, it dropped, and it came back up, and then it dropped, and it came back up, and then it dropped, came up, dropped, came up. So, unless you got short here and just held your stop, which was kind of what you were talking about earlier, if you were
Yeah.
trying to just do some quick scalps in here, you
Mhm.
constantly have to be aware of, if price is going to bounce, if there's liquidity up here acting as a magnet, it can throw your short off real quick. And so
Yeah.
that's what I saw. And I was able to take a couple small longs, but they never went anywhere because, the actual trend right here was down. So it was
Yeah.
kind of a tough spot to trade, but my feeling was this was a lot better than just having price being controlled and looking at the heat map and not seeing any other liquidity zones, any other order blocks there to target. Then you're just kind of bouncing around at whoever's in control, their will, you know.
Let me
And
let me
I'm just going to show you one
go ahead.
more, and just to
Yeah.
illustrate what I mean. Now, this is from maybe the previous video where we talked about this. So you notice on this one, you've got your two lines of liquidity, these block orders that are controlling price. And this was about 2 minutes of price action. Um, Not a lot of liquidity on the rest of the map. Not a lot to target, I'd have to zoom in really tight and maybe target a couple ticks. But in terms of like a big block of white liquidity, there wasn't a lot to target here. So this to me was like really difficult to trade. It was just really somebody else was in control, and I'm at their whim.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I have to say on that subject.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Let
and
me
it's a different view than, the jigsaw view.
Yeah, I love that you can do the wider, the higher time frame view with all the liquidity. It's really nice. I wish Jigsaw had that.
Yeah, I mean you can. It's just you got to do it by hand, and the chart has to refresh each time, and it would probably take you a lot of clicking to get there. Whereas, with Bookmap you can just zoom in and out,
Yeah.
which is why I use both. Still haven't found that one program that just covers everything.
Yeah.
we're trying to share my screen here, but it looked like it's stuck. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, you got me? All right.
Yeah.
So I think this is around the same time here. This is like this is the end of the session you were saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see here. Around 15:45 we had that sell off, and this bracket in order right here. This is something that I do on the heat map. Let me just go into heat map settings, and you can turn these down, right? The lower cutoff, you can turn that down, and you can turn the higher cutoff up, I mean down as well. And what it does is that you would see more of the gray, which is the lighter orders, right? So these bracket orders are kind of heavy, right? They're kind of, it's like let's see here, this one is 331, right?
Hmm.
So the ones that are, they kind of outshadow or skew the book. So they make these here, which are, let's say that's 122. Usually it would be lit up like this one at 163. But because of this right here, it's a little lighter. So that's why I kind of you just raise the lower cutoff, and you get to see a little more of the book, and you can see where there's really like above these orders, you can see there's liquidity here
Hmm.
and liquidity down here, and there's another feature they have here. Wait,
You
let
know,
me see
while
where
you're
it is.
on that point, so um, I was seeing right here at 5509.50. You can see there's a little block of sell side liquidity right there, and I I could see that price was trying to go up and target that, and eventually it did hit exactly right there where that liquidity was. Oops.
Where is it? We're in the matrix.
Sorry, my
We're in the
dog just
we're in the black hole. Oh no!
my dog just jumped on me and messed everything up. There we go. Okay, we're back.
Well, hey guys, I gotta actually sign out. I gotta get some dinner here.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Alrighty, Eli.
yeah, it
Thanks
was a
for
good
coming
time.
through, bro.
Yeah, I'll see you guys at the open, and
All right,
yeah, we'll definitely catch up next Sunday. Eh?
All right,
sounds good.
Yeah, later.
All
later,
right,
bro.
talk to you later.
Yeah, and it's something else I wanted to show you here. It's like they kind of they weave out like they wrote a new code that takes out that algo. Let me just find it real quick.
Um,
And here it is here. Yeah, go ahead. What you were saying?
I was just gonna say, I'm trying to process what you just said about, so it takes out the algo.
Yeah, because you're gonna see it right now when this populates. Sorry, sometimes this takes a little while to populate.
Sounds like a laser tag gun range or something.
Oh, what you heard that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Like I was wondering if you guys are hearing those background noises from market balls.
Yeah.
Because I have them on mute, but I don't know why you can still hear them. Because you see, right now I'm taking them off mute, putting them back on, but they're still popping off. I don't know why.
That's all right. So this is the current heat map. ES right now. Is that right?
Yeah. And this thing takes so long to populate sometimes, bro. And when you're on live stream or recording, you just think like so much time is passing by while you're waiting, you know?
Yeah, I know. Well, just looking at, what you have here on the heat map, it looks like quite a bit of liquidity up here at 5490, and then maybe less down here at 5480. There's kind of a shaded area at 5482. But this is distinctly different from the pictures I was just showing where you had those bracket orders. Now, is that because
Yeah.
the indicator you're using took the bracket orders out, or is that just
So
this is what liquidity is doing right now?
no, it took it out. So it kind of like the principle behind it is the order has to be in the book at for a certain amount of time unchanged. So once it starts changing, because it's bracketed moving with price. So once it starts moving with price, they exclude it off of the book.
That's brilliant. So you can actually target the real liquidity that's being targeted by price action instead of, being distracted by these bracket orders, which are never going to hit, by the way, right? They're just there to kind of move
They
price up and
they
down.
never hit.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just move around. And this is what you get here. You get the cleaner book. And these are the real orders. You still
yeah,
get some of the bracketing, right? Because they can't exclude everything totally, but you kind of get the cleaner version of the book. The orders that surround it, they're not unskewed anymore. They're not skewed anymore.
I see that. That's
So
great.
you get to see the real orders around the book.
So this is
And then you have,
an extra indicator that you pay for through like Global Plus or
well, it comes free, I think, with Global Plus and stuff like that. So
okay,
Trader Map Lite, that's the name of it.
I see.
You can see it down there, right?
Um,
Right here.
I don't see your mouse.
Am I sharing?
Oh,
I cut off.
yeah, we lost you.
And
And we're back in the matrix.
yo, this stuff gets stuck here. I don't know why this is getting stuck here. All right.
Oh, I see.
So you see it now, Trader Map Lite,
I see
right
it.
there. Yeah, that's it. So
Yeah,
that's in settings. When you go in here, it's the last one.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be available for the beta in Thinkorswim.
I think it's free though, but I don't know if it's on the Think and Swing version.
I doubt it.
And so what do you think for tomorrow? Let's see. Let me try and share my other screen. You can see my screen.
Let's see here. Yeah, so we're looking at the screen of the chart. Is that right? With the
Yeah,
yeah, with the volume
you
profile.
see
Yeah, I
my
got you.
mouse.
Yeah.
My mouse is moving around. Okay. All right. So let me just do a little quick breakdown here of what I see for tomorrow, just on the 5 minute chart.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's take off the cameras. Take off. All right, and we're just gonna leave the central pivots for a second. All right, so we have the central pivots here. Central pivot is at 5506.25. It's in a higher value relationship, but you can see here that we opened within the range. Let me just open this up. So we opened within the central pivot range, which is in a higher value, but then we sold off. So we're actually rejecting the thesis of it looking for higher value, right? So price just immediately sold off. And let's see where S1 is at 54.67.75. So that's the first bearish target if we're coming down here, right? Now we have central pivot, the monthly central pivot at 54.73.25. And we have POC right here where we're kind of getting a little consolidation. The weekly POC at 54.83.75. So we could find support here and come back up and retest this central pivot or this TC monthly. Right now, if we throw on the Camarilla, so the Camarilla are in a inside value relationship. Camarilla R3 moved down from prior day. It's now at 55.17.70. Camry S3 moved up and it's now at 54.88.29. So in an inside value relationship, I remember when we used to be really into the Camarillas when you were my Camarilla partner, bro, and then you switch up and you're doing something else. But anyway,
Well, you know, I
um,
still I still use the cams, but not as much. Just how do I put this? I got really good with the floor pivots, and then there's a lot
yeah,
of similarities between the two, and then I got to the point where I was using both, and then I still like to have those marked on my chart. Um,
yeah,
you know, and I feel like some days it's the daily cams, and some days it's the floor pivots are in control, and
yeah,
other days it's the central pivot, and other days it's something else completely, you know. So I try to kind of
yeah,
glean what maybe the mechanical traders are looking at and kind of go
yeah.
off of that.
Right now, I swear, bro, I found what I'm looking for with the VWAP and these central pivots and floor pivots and Camarillas. That's how I'm building out my strategy now. Just using the level and the VWAP for the volume to catch these reversals and rejections. So like with the Camarillas now on the inside value relationship, we could probably see some ranging right in between these levels, or we could see a breakout. Now right now we're signaling that we could get a breakout to the downside, but if we do come back in this range, we could see the ranging in between this level.
Okay.
So let me just throw on the VWAPs real quick. Right. So with the VWAPs right now, this being Camarilla S3 and this being a minus V2, we could see some accumulation between minus V1 and minus V2 to get that Bowling Green strategy to break back up to the upside. But right now, I'm kind of thinking it's gonna break down a little further, and we might get to like maybe CAM S4 and the monthly central pivot somewhere around 54.73.50,
Okay.
and then sometime like I would say closer to the open we might be in a position to have like something like a Bowling Green strategy reversal somewhere around maybe S1 or Camarilla S4. I
Okay.
don't know. What do you think?
Let me share my screen here so I can show
Mhm.
you um turn to app. Okay, pop out. Oops. Going back. Okay, you should be able to see my screen now. Let me know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great.
And
So
how's my volume? Is it loud?
I think it's perfect. Yeah, it's
Okay,
actually
cool.
great. Yeah, really good. So just looking over here, this is from the 24th, the 17th through the 24th. I had this Wyckoff accumulation drawn. You can see the green was support, the red was resistance, and we broke out of that,
Mm-hmm.
tested it, went up here to the new 2-week VPOC, which was right around 56.30. You know, that's been a key level. And then we started breaking down. The high was 57.21. We fell off of that, came back down to this 56.30 level. And when we lost that, we came back down to test the red high from the previous horizontal consolidation, which was, you know, an
Mm-hmm.
accumulation, which failed.
Right.
So if you think of this as a throwback to the creek, so to speak, it actually broke through and failed. So once this failed, you know, I was targeting the median line, which is 55.51, and then when that failed,
Mm-hmm.
I was targeting, you know, the lower support, and then when that failed, we went to the previous 2-week VPOC, which is 54.80, 54.89.75, this purple line.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, you know, this is just a slightly different look at what you had charted earlier. So in today's session, I was really expecting us to backtest this green support line, which is now, you know, turned to resistance. That's exactly what happened. We got a big squeeze up into it. I think that was a couple days ago. I'm sorry. And then that fell off. And then it came back and did it again today. And again, it failed. Now, if I run the fibs on this, just moving from the top to the bottom here, that's exactly a 50% discount. So
Yeah.
if we get continuation, which I would judge as long as 55.15 holds as resistance, and you'll notice, so these gold lines, you know, that's value area high, value area low, VPOC is the blue line. We're already below the range. We opened and fell out of the range. So this is already showing me, you know, bearish continuation. And this goes
Right.
right back to what you were saying previously of, you know, this downward um, fall off in price will most likely test the low again, right?
Secondary stuff.
So yeah, exactly. So we're looking at 54.33 if we get
Mm-hmm.
continuation. That's my guess.
Right.
Now, we could always bounce back up and test, you know, I'd like to see 55.01 hold as resistance. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
VPOC at 55.04. And then I would like to see price fall off this 2-week VPOC from 4 weeks ago, which is 54.89. And if those things all happen, you know, then I'm looking at 54.60. I'm looking at a retest of the low at 54.32. And then we could
Mm-hmm.
go even as low as the 127.2% extension, which is 53.75. Wow.
Wow.
Can you
Wow.
imagine
Oh
how
man.
just yeah, it could happen. Now just zooming out, there's a rule with um in Elliott wave, you know, so you've got this motive push up and then you've got this correction here and another push
Mm-hmm.
up and this other correction. So this usually would not go below, you know, that point right there, which is 52.70.
Okay.
Probably not past 54.30. But very likely that they could test this previous block of liquidity right here if we
Right.
get continuation. And then just looking at it on the, you know, the daily. So we did have one leg down, one leg up, one leg down, one leg up. So we're due for another leg down. That would give us 5 legs. Um, I think 54.30 is a highly likely target provided we stay under the value area.
Right.
And you know, I think that lines up with what you were talking about earlier as well.
Yeah.
Now, if it breaks above this green line and it breaks above value area high at 55.19, then my first target would be right around 55.50, this previous liquidity. You know,
55.50.
yeah, if we were to get a squeeze, which, you know, could certainly happen as well. And, you know, just
Okay,
out of
let me
curiosity, I'm going to run the fibs on this.
okay.
And yeah, we're right at the 62% discount, which is 54.38. So, I'd really like to
Okay.
see that level hold. And if that level
Yeah.
holds and we get a bounce, then we could target the high at 57.26,
Right. Right.
57.20, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that kind of covers
Because
the bearish and bullish, possibilities.
because on my 1 hour chart is really looking like the beginning of a accumulation phase. So I agree with a possible bullish kind of push up. But I think we're gonna test those lows first.
So you'd be looking at 54.32.50,
Like around 54.45.
54.45. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right about there. Yeah, I think so too. You've got this kind of W-shaped double bottom indicating, that there's a lot of buyers in this area, so very likely that this
And
comes
a
back.
lot of volume as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's see, can I share my screen?
sure.
Let me just
I think you got two going here.
right.
Oh, okay, they have book map.
Can you see bookmap?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is what I'm looking at because you just mentioned I think it was 55.15 you said or 55.16.
I think it was 55.15-ish.
Right. So right here Camaria Archery is at 55.17.25 and we're gonna have
And look
let's
at that
see,
big
this is
block of sell side liquidity right there.
definitely, you know,
Yeah.
and immediate liquidity is right here to opposing this little bullish move that's happening right now. So let me just reset it. Right. So there is a lot of liquidity on the buy side around yesterday's low and Camaria S4. But then we're getting these sellers on top here providing resistance on the ask. But it's looking like we're gonna get that retracement up to I think somewhere around the central pivot at least. We're going to come back to probably weekly Camaria S3, which is basically testing from the bottom, like a sell off,
Hmm.
a breakdown, and then pushing back up to the bottom to test. And I think we could possibly even get up to Camaria R3. So if we do get up to 55.17.50, I want it to be around one of these maybe like +2 VWAP so I could get some like the Black Sun strategy to sell around this level.
Okay.
This
Man,
is
your
a
alerts,
level
your
I want to sell
notifications
at.
are your notifications are going crazy. It sounds like Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the market pulse.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for tomorrow, like a Camaria R3 rejection and a sell-off. I could
Uh,
even take like a buy right here. This is a nice little buy here at VWAP
Very cool.
and Camaria S3 as well. And we have good volume coming in. Big bubble on the delta. Volume on the ask. It's looking good for the breakout. It's looking like some of the liquidity on the ask is pulling. So the bid is stacking up and the ask is pulling right there. But man, I could probably talk about this forever. I don't want to keep you too long, bro.
Same here. Yeah, we should probably cut it short. We're going a little bit over an hour here. Um,
Oh, okay.
so I'm just going to take us out. Thank you guys for watching. Um, this is from the Premium Tier Futures Discord group. We trade mostly ES and NQ, as well as some other currencies. So if you like what you've seen here and you
Some
enjoy
gold
some golds and
and
uh,
some oil.
sometimes oil,
Yep.
um, thank you guys for watching, and please feel free to join us in Discord. It's free. If you need a link, just hit us up in the comments. And you can find me at Phil's Jackson on X or at Premium FTS on X, as well as at Malak Shalomo on X. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you guys, and we will keep in touch. Happy trading out there. And anything you want to say to take us out?
Yeah, come join us in Premium Tier Futures, man. It's a really nice Discord. Um, we can share our ideas with each other. We go back and forth as price action is moving. So it's really dynamic where you could just gauge your ideas against what others are saying in the chat, and it impacts. It's like its own indicator. You could just get impacted from other people's ideas, and you could even fine tune your strategies with each other. So it's a nice little environment, and you all come through. So we're gonna leave a link of the Discord in the comment section when we post the video, and you all come through, man. Everyone is welcome. You know what I'm saying? And it's Malak Sholomo. You all trade safe and stay blessed.
All right, thank you guys. Catch you on the next one.